still on the Christian Bondo Road, but we are not going to use the Bondo town because we are going to use the Ndori Junction to Kogelo. But it's important to note that this convoy will first of all start by visiting the church that General Francis Ogolla built in the village, St. Stephen's SK, where he, together with the other well-wishers, built, and therefore it's important that his body is going to be put there for a few minutes. Then it will make way to his father's home. Remember, his father celebrated 100 years yesterday, his 100th birthday yesterday. So it's important, he's still alive, and the body is going to go to his father's home, and then finally will make its way to Senator Obama primary, where the burial ceremony will be held. And therefore, it's important to note that we are now almost 10 minutes, 5 or so minutes to the junction, to Ndori Junction. From Ndori Junction is again another 5 minutes to St. Stephen's Church that General Ogolla built. And therefore, roughly, we have around less than 15 minutes to the venue in here. It's important to know in terms of time so that we can be able to understand how long this journey is gonna take. We are still on Bondo Christian Road, like I mentioned, but we are just now indicating we have approached the Ndori. We are approaching the Ndori Junction. Ndori is still on the Christian Bondo Road. It's around 4 or 5 minutes drive. Once we are there, then we will also use around 5 or 6 minutes to Kogelo. Kogelo is the area that this particular thing is going to happen. And we are still witnessing huge crowds of people lining along the road, some trying to block the convoy to no avail, trying to block the convoy so that they could maybe get a glimpse of that body. But that is not the program for today. The convoy and the organizers are just determined to make sure that General Francis Ogolla's remains or body is actually finally at his rural home. Like I mentioned, he, together with other well-wishers, built a church, and therefore it will not be the body will not directly be taken to Senator Obama primary. From here, it will first of all make a stop at the church that he built for close to 10 or so minutes, and then the body will also be taken to his father's home, still at Nia, for some 10 or so minutes. Then before it will be taken to Senator Obama primary, where the funeral ceremony will be held. And therefore, that is important to note because it is part of this very important day to the family and the Kenyans. It is also equally important to understand that every military protocol has been put into consideration, including transporting. The military police are the one leading the convoy. We have 3 motorbikes, 3 military motorbikes leading this convoy from the front, of course, followed by 2 heavily armed, two vehicles with heavily armed officers also, and then the hearse that is carrying a Mercedes-Benz hearse is actually in the middle. Of course, the family and other high-ranking military officers using a bus following closely. We have other officers, then the media has also been given a space at a distance 5th or 6th in the terms of the convoy. We are still witnessing people along the road who are giving the last respect. This was important. The organizers saw that it was important to use the road to transport the body to the village so that people of the region could get an ample opportunity to say a final goodbye for the late General Francis Ogolla. We are now nearing the Ndori Junction. I can see from a distance, and once we are there, we'll make a right turn to Kogalo. In Kogalo, there, like I mentioned, we will make a stop at the church that the General Francis Ogolla built before going to his father's home, who fortunately turned 100 years. He celebrated his 100th birthday yesterday. The father to General Francis Ogolla is actually 100 years, and he'll be waiting to receive the body at his home. I don't know if it's following the traditions, but we'll be able to learn that later. But we have been informed that this convoy from the church, it will be heading to the father's home, and then later on to Senator Obama primary, where the burial ceremony will be held before our final send-off of the late General Francis Ogolla. It has been a distance. The speed was reduced. Actually, we came from the airport we are doing at around 60 kilometers per hour, 50 to 60 kilometers per hour. It has been reduced to around 40 because we had an incident. One of the military vehicles hit the motorbikes, and it brought a lot of commotion, a bit of commotion, but it was sorted. It was realized that it did not cause a lot of damage to the motorbike. It was allowed to continue, informing the reduction of the speed, and that's why we are taking a bit of time actually on the road because it brought two incidences there. First of all, the motorbike people hit each other, Bodaboda riders. But the second one, the military car hit a military motorbike, informing the reduction of the speed. And actually, that's why we are still on the Bondo, the Christian Bondo Road. We have not taken a turn at the Ndori Junction, because from Ndori Junction, we will be heading to Kogalo, where all these other events will be taking place, including, like I rightfully mentioned earlier on, visiting the church that the church that General Ogolla actually helped handy in building together with the other well-wishers. Then he will be visiting his father, who turned 100 years yesterday. Then later on, going to Senator Obama primary for the burial ceremony, and actually the funeral will be taking place later on. People are still lining up on the road, those using leaves, waving in the air, those taking pictures, those shouting, those ululating. Residents here are using all manner of expressions to present their commiserations towards this unfortunate incident and the last respect to the late General Francis Ogolla. We have the young, the middle-aged, the old, all lining up along in twos, in threes, in pairs, in groups along this road to just make sure that they give their final send-off. We have also witnessed even some, they look religiously determined to also bless this convoy. They are lifting their hands and pronouncing some prayers towards this. I've seen some along the road. They are dressed religiously. I believe they are also praying for the convoy to make sure that General Ogolla's body arrives home safely without any hitch. And so far, so good. Apart from those small minor accidents of hitting each other, the convoy is making way. You can still listen to those ululations, the cries from ladies lining along this Christian Bondo Road, where we are still making way to Ndori Junction. Even, yes, like I said, the religious ladies on the left, in large numbers there, making some pronouncements. I believe they are making prayers for the convoy and what have you. Once the body arrives at here, it will first of all make a stop at the church that General Ogolla built. Of course, from there, for a period of around 10 minutes, it will then proceed to his father's home for another 10 minutes. I don't know if members of the public will be allowed to view the body. That is not part of the plan. We have not been informed. But if it will happen, then we will inform you because of our strong team that is already on the ground. Will be doing that. But from there, then, after leaving the father's home, the body will be taken to Senator Obama Primary School, where all other guests are currently waiting for the burial ceremony that will be conducted by the church and the help of the clergy from the military also will be there to give guidance and help to just make sure that the final send-off of the General Francis Ogolla moves smoothly, ends smoothly, and ends as planned. We are already late because actually, according to the program that was given, the body was already supposed to be at home. The body was supposed to actually arrive at around 9:30. Some 8 minutes late, but no worry because they are trying to make it. We understand that it was terminated by a delay at the airport. I'm very sure that they will be making. The weather is still gloomy here. We have seen the clouds still gathering. They are determined to gather. I don't know how long this will go, but it might actually affect the entire program because rains might interfere with the ceremony. But that's notwithstanding is one of the major concerns because either way this has to happen. It will be because of the weather. It has to happen because it has been planned and it has to happen. We will also be moving slowly because the speed has been increased a bit. Then again, the speed has been increased just with the concern of the time because we are still already behind the time. That program that was given is already behind the time by almost 50 minutes, and they have to make a way of recovering that. We have that happening. We use the Kitchen Bond Road, is a one-way road, and they have been forced to block the road's oncoming road from this other side, and therefore this convoy is using both lanes towards Bondo to just make this easy for everyone. It is also important to note that along the road, the police officers are lined up to just make sure that they control the movement of traffic. Maybe those who intend to join the road abruptly to avoid any incident at this particular time. We have seen them lining along to help in coordinating and controlling any eventuality that could be maybe come in this way. We are now, we are still in Kisumu. We have entered Siaya County because that there's a big board that shows the boundary of Kisumu and Siaya County there. We are now at Akala Market. It is the first market on this road. For those who have used the Kisian Bondo Road, Akala, we are at Akala Market. I can now see the crowds building big here. At this market, I can tell you, this is a huge crowd. We have not seen this before. People have turned up in numbers, I can tell you. These are big, huge. Yes, people previously turned up on the previous market, but this is exemplary big. People have turned up actually in big numbers, lined up along the road. They are demanding that the convoy make a stop, but that will not be possible. In the interest of time and in the interest of the already given programs, there was no stop over here, and therefore it will not happen. Yes, it will not happen. They have tried to stop, but the leaders are adamant that no, we have to make our way to near, and therefore, yes, off we go. Off we go. We leave Akala Market. Off we go. Off we go to the next stopover, and therefore but that was a huge crowd, I can tell you.